Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about Dune 2, Denis Villeneuve's masterpiece, Timothée Chalamet's masterpiece, Zendaya's masterpiece. 100% spoilers. Full, robust conversation about the best stuff in Dune 2 and the best stuff in Dungeons & Dragons. I don't do non-spoilers, right? You are never going to hear half my opinion, ever, right? And I would really encourage you, let's fix YouTube. Do not ever listen to a non-spoiler review again. They are worthless junk. All right? Full spoilers for Dune 2. Let's get into it. All right. Today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. I want to talk about the future of Dungeons & Dragons from believers, right? The future of Dungeons & Dragons being forged by believers, right? And what we can do for Dungeons & Dragons if we understand Stilgar. Let's get into it. All right. First of all, I was incredibly fortunate. I got to see Dune before almost anyone. Right. I went earlier in January. I went and I saw Dune 1 on IMAX. Right. And I stayed until the very end. And they put up a QR code. I scanned that QR code. And then they were like, hey, do you want to see Dune 2 super early? And I was like, bet. Yes, I do, right? Like, so I got my super early tickets, and it was incredible because, I went, I saw it on an IMAX. Everybody stood at the end, clapped at the end. Everybody there was down, right? It was really incredible experience. It was really incredible experience for me. I really can't. It's hard to. I cried 2 or 3 times in the film. I read this book when I was 14 years old, and I've read it since, and it was transformative. It was really, really a transformative experience for me, and it really shaped a lot of what I was trying to achieve as a man. Right? I had a father who loved me really a whole lot. He really loved me well, but he really struggled as a father. And the reason why is my father's father left him when he was 2 weeks old. Left my father's mother, left him when he was 2 weeks old. You want to talk about a Chris knife to the heart? That's it, right? And my dad, did the best he could to be a father for me, and I learned many things from him, but I also saw that he struggled as a father. He couldn't do everything he wanted to do for me, right? But when I read about Paul Atreides' father and the way he taught Paul Atreides, and the way Paul Atreides was brought up by Duncan Idaho, and the way he was brought up by Gurney Halleck, and it really helped me to see what a man does to move forward in the world. And answered a lot of questions that my father, that I couldn't bring myself to ask my father, right? And so it was really a formative book for me. And so to see it brought to the screen perfectly, with just the most powerful adherence to the canon of the Dune book, Dune, is really powerful. The character I enjoyed seeing the most in the book, though, in the film, was Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem. His portrayal of Stilgar was absolutely amazing, and Stilgar is a Fremen, right? And Stilgar is a Fremen, and he believes that that Paul Atreides is Muad'Dib, that he is the prophesied one who will lead the Fremen to victory, right? That he is the prophecy, right? Everyone around Stilgar, everyone, even the woman who falls in love with Muad'Dib, right, laughs at him. They laugh at him, right? The Reverend Mother, the leaders, everyone laughs and says, "You know nothing. You're a fool." They literally call him insane, right? And but Stilgar was right. Not only was Stilgar right, but Stilgar actually crafted. Stilgar was right. Stilgar was right. Stilgar was 100% right. Paul Atreides was Muad'Dib, right? And the reality is, at the end of it, Stilgar is 100% correct, right? And what's even interesting is even Paul Atreides is like, oh, no. You could check all this noise, right? I'm no Messiah, right? I'm not the prophesied one. My mother's a Bene Gesserit. She's been constructing this and crafting this. And the Bene Gesserit she's been crafting this for years, and the Bene Gesserit have been crafting this for centuries. And it gets to the end, and Stilgar's like, and Muad'Dib, Muad'Dib Atreides says to Stilgar, we're friends, we're brothers, like we're both Fremen, right? But I'm not the prophesied one, right? And Stilgar persists through Paul Muad'Dib Atreides' doubt and says, I don't care what you believe. I believe. And Stilgar's belief is enough to make it real when Paul Muad'Dib Atreides decides it's real and fully makes it real with Stilgar, right? The prophesied one and the believer. And nothing happens without the believer, right? What's this got to do with Dungeons & Dragons? I've been here, man. I've been here. I've been telling you what it is. Dungeons & Dragons, in my humble opinion, has never been, is not now, and will never be a game. It is more. It is the next evolution of human intellect. Okay? It is without a doubt the next evolution of human intellect. Do you know who plays Dungeons & Dragons? Only 4 people play Dungeons & Dragons. Scholars are the least of them. Next are wonks. People who have ridiculous amounts of knowledge about Dungeons & Dragons and 2, 3, 5, 7 other subjects. Next are sages. People who actually contain wisdom. And last are polymaths. It's exactly what Gary was. He wrote the ultimate self-help book. He wrote 3 of them. The PHB, right? The DMG, and the MM. He wrote them, right? He wrote 3 books that can lead any human to secularly improve themselves, find themselves, discover themselves, forge themselves. It is canon. C-A-N-O-N. Canon. Secular canon. Okay? He wrote it, and so why did he call it a game? He had to, right? Self-help books suck. No one wants them. You are ashamed when you walk in there and people into the section and people are like, oh, is that person an alcoholic? Is that person have some other mental health issue? Is that person lacking confidence? How do they suck? That's all that happens when you walk into the self-help book section. Gary knew it, right? And he said, I have to give away. I have to give away for people to improve themselves. I have to. He did. When he was 7 years old, nukes dropped. He witnessed it. He was born. He lived through World War II. The world was bathed in blood. He knew he had to fix us, but he knew no self-help book would do it. Ever. That they would be worthless. That they are marks of shame. Right? So he hid what was needed for everyone to fix themselves in a secular manner. And they are the most valuable secular books on the planet. I believe. I am Gary Gygax's Stilgar. Gary said a lot when he was alive. He's saying a lot more now that he's dead. I believe. I never, ever once thought When I opened the lid off the red box, I could feel it. Now I'm positive. I am the Stilgar of Gary Gygax, in my humble opinion. We can do with Dungeons & Dragons more than has ever been done with any secular book. Shakespeare's works are trash compared to what Gary Gygax built. Now, are you Fremen? That's my question to you. Are you Fremen? Do you understand the wisdom of Stilgar? Are you ready? Right? Can you believe? That is the question. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more and not a thing less. What's important is when I hear your humble opinion and your answer. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.